So hello friends, welcome to our channel Ankit Tech Classes. I am Ankit. So in this session we will discuss about what is custom hook, why we use it and how we can use it. So basically custom hook are the reusable function, reusable components, right? Just like as a reusable function. Why we use? Because in multiple situation we write the code, same code multiple times, so we should avoid this because that is not a coding standard to write the same thing multiple times, right? So avoid this, we can use the custom hook. It can be used in the version of React 16.8 or later version, but if you are using the previous version of 16.8, so you cannot use this feature. So basically custom hook is a reusable function that you can define once and you can use it multiple times, right? So we have discussed that the if the particular component logic that are using in multiple files or multiple components inside the application, you can define it as a custom hooks and you can use the multiple files or component without rewriting the same code again and again, right? There are some rules defined by React, so to follow it. So first, whenever you want to create a custom hook, the file should start with the keyword use, or you have to create a component or hook with using the use keyword before, starting with the use keyword. Like you have seen, you have used a multiple hook like use effect, use state, use callback, use memo, and so on. So these are the built-in hooks that has been created by the React company. So if you want to similar kind of functionality of hooks, you can create your own hook using the custom hooks, right? So basically the first thing when after creating the custom hook, if you want to use, always write it to the top level. At the top level line you have to consume it first, and after that you can call it from only the React function, not from the local function or normal JavaScript functions. The next point is the basically most important thing that multiple React developers actually uh, do the wrong thing. Multiple guys actually calls it from the multiple nested functions that are in nesting nature, and it also call in the loop or in the condition. We have to avoid this. We cannot call the custom hook from the nested function, loop, or condition. If you call it from here, so it will give the error, and you can call the particular custom hook only from the functional component, not from the class component. So that is custom hook. So let's demo it. So I have created already a template with using TypeScript. So here in this code we will use the TypeScript, not use the JavaScript. So before directly starting with the custom hook, first we will create a demo, right? And we will see after that the custom hook. So I will show you a simple example. So we will enter the first name, last name. User will enter the first name, last name, and on changing it, it should display a full name, first name plus last name, right? So first we will create a UI. First name, we will create a text box using the HTML code. type equal to text, last name, so we have used multiple times this type of code. If you are new into my channel as well as for the React, so I will recommended you to please see my the previous video of React fundamentals of React for beginner video tutorial series. Like you can see here, that is my channel Ankit Tech Classes. Here I have created the separate playlist. So first you have to go through the React tutorial for beginner, then either you can go for the advanced React topics, or directly you can go with the React. But I will recommend it before using the React hook. First you have to read the React tutorial series for beginners topics. If you want to interested in the to learn the Next.js, so I recommended you to use this playlist. So now we will move into our code. Full name, we will display it in the label, right? So here you can see our application already running. Okay, we have to again start. So meanwhile I am creating a state variable const u first name set first name equal to use state, initialize it with the blank string value, constant last name comma set last name equal to use state, initialize it also with blank value. Now inside the label we will print the first name and last name, but it will not update. So if you see, no, it is starting. So now it will not update the first name and last name. We have to call the onChange method, right? So I am defining two methods for updating the first name and update first name. We will pass the event set first name. We will pass event dot target dot value. It is not taking, so describing it with the any. So because we are using the it is not taking, simply use the any, and I will call this update first name method and will pass the event. Just use it like just copy it, change your last name, we will update the last name also. So first we have to create it, just copy and paste, define it, update last name. Here we will update the last name using set last name, right? So what it will do, so whenever it will create two text box, one for entering the first name and second for entering the last name, and in the label it will concatenate the first name and last name value. So whenever we type in the first name text box, it will fire the onChange method. OnChange method will call the update first name method, will pass that this event, and it in this event we with the help of event.target.value, that value we will pass in set first name method. It will update the first name variable value. So whatever we enter in the text box, it will stored in the first name using this set is first name variable. Like same way in the last name text box, whatever we entered the character by character, it will fire the onChange event, and this event is associated with this function. So whenever this event will fire, it will call this method update last name, in which we are passing the event. So it will set the set name, it will call the method set last name, and it is passing the event.target.value, so that it will set the last name value. Now it is running. So here you can see that I am typing. So if I am typing, it is parallelly updating this label also. I am setting the last name also displaying the last name. Okay. Now if we can see that we have written this code. So if you want to concatenate the first name last name, you have to do the same thing in the every component or everywhere. So that is a very simple code, and very small code you can write. But if we have lots of code, so and how many times you have to written the same code, the large code. So at this time situation, you have to create something common that you can use it multiple times. You have to just define it one time, and you can call it multiple times. So now we will create a custom hook for concatenating of first name and last name. So I am creating one file, naming it use full name, because the first rule of custom hook creation that it should always start with use keyword. Okay, you can give the extension either ts or tsx. If you are using javascript, you can give either js or jsx. We will define just like as we create the component. We will pass the first name and last name as an input. We will define a use state object, stored value comma set stored value, use state. We will return the first name, then we will print the space, then we'll concatenate with last name. We will import the use state, then we will create a method set value from which user can set value whatever user will enter into it. We will just simply set stored value. We have to return this return stored value so that user can use it and display the updated value. And we have to also return the method name. Either we can return this variable or either we can return the method. Okay, then at the last we have to export it because we want to use in multiple component. So in the we will consume it const full name set full name equal to use full name. We have to pass the initial first name and last name. That is already storing it in the first name using this set first name and last name method. So you can pass it comma last name. That will use as a initial value, but that is the initial value. You can do one thing, you can define it everything in a new paragraph. Right, now we will display it using use full name custom we will display full name inside the label. We will call this full name variable because it will be updated. We have to define it a type of a string or any. Now error has been gone. If we see here the Amit Gupta, you can see here it is updating here, but it is not updating here because here we are displaying it. So initially it have no value. So because initially we are not setting it, so we have to update it using this set stored value. So here uh, it will return this way. So stored value will store in full name and the set value reference will store in the set full name. So we have to call, copy it, paste it, set full name. We have to pass with concatenation. So the first name we are passing whatever we enter and concatenate with space and with the last name, doing the same thing. Call again set full name. Now we will pass last name whatever we will enter using event.target.value. Here first we will pass the first name, we will concatenate with space and whatever we will enter with event.target.value. Now we will test it, refresh the page. Alok, now you are seeing that the here custom hook also displaying it. Alok, now we enter the last name. Now it is updating using the use full name also. Now I will explain you. So here I have created one custom hook with the name of use full name. Here if we are passing the initial value as a parameter, first name, string type and last name, right? Here I have created simply a one use state like stored value and set stored value. Initially defined this first name and last name value. Okay, and here I have created a set value method, define it explicitly so that user can call it explicitly and pass whatever user will enter the value inside it. It will store into this state variable stored value with the help of set stored value method. Whatever we enter, it will set into this stored value. Now I am returning the stored value, this one and this function set value. Okay, so after that I am consuming it. So I have defined use full name and I have passed the initial full name, first name and last name, right? So it is returning this stored value and set value. So stored value will store the value in full name, we have referenced it, and the set value will reference in set full name, right? So whenever we have type anything in first name, it will fire the onChange event character by character, and it will call the update first name method, and we are passing the event object. Here whatever we have typed, it will store in inside the event.target.value. It will call the set last name method and update the last name value with using the event.target value whatever we enter in the text box. Now we have to call the use hook method. So I am calling this set full name method and passing the first name plus concatenation with the space and the whatever I'm entering the sorry set we have to call this first name. So we have to whatever we have entering the first name value, the concatenation with the space and last name. Okay, so full name set full name is reference with this set value, so it will call this set value method, and whatever we pass here, it will pass into the value, it will store into the variable value. So it will store pass this value into the method set stored value. So it will update the stored value variable, right? Like same way it will store the it will call the set full name. Here I am passing the first name concatenation with the space and the event dot target value whatever we enter the last name value. So it will call the set value, and then again it will update the stored value variable value with using set stored value method. So it will, and now here I have to print the full name, so I am just calling this for full name. So it is referenced by the stored value. So whatever we have updated here value, it will print the full name value inside the label. Okay, so that is updating, right? Now I will create one more example, right? So you are many guys use the local storage, that is used for storing the values in your local browser. So it will store until you have externally remove the value from it, right? It will store your on your local browser. So multiple times you have to set and get into it with using the cat item and site item command, right? So if you want to use it in multiple times, you can store it in use hook custom hook, and you can use it multiple times because something get item you will enter, and you will pass the key, and it will return a value that stored in that particular key. So it stores the value in key value pair formatted. So if you want to set the value, you have to call the local storage dot set item, then you have to pass the first parameter key comma string type value or any type of value you can pass it. So I am creating one more file for use local storage dot ts, right? So I am creating one more hook for local storage use local storage. So here I will pass the key and the initial value will be also string. stored value comma we'll use the same state variable, but we'll store the local storage value set and get using same use state hook, that is built-in hook. And now we will try to get item from local storage. Local storage dot get item, we have to define a key here, just state, you have to import it. Right, we have to check, we have to return item if item is available, so you cannot return it in the same value that is stored on the local storage, because at the time of storing we have to save it as a JSON stringify. It means JavaScript object string, JavaScript object notation string means JSON string, so we have to convert it into the JavaScript object, right? So the function json.parse method will convert a JavaScript object notation string into a object, and you have to pass the item. Otherwise, if you have not value, then you can pass the initial value. If any error come, you can console it. Console dot log error, and you can also return the initial value. Now we will also introduce a method to explicitly update its value by the user. Here we will also pass a value string type, we will try to update it. We will update the state variable using the set stored value method. Now we will set the local storage also. So using the set item command under the local storage, we have to define the key first, key comma that we have passed here, and comma whatever. So value we cannot store directly, we have to stringify it into JSON string. Stringify, it means converts a JavaScript value to a JavaScript object notation string, means it will convert the JavaScript object into a JSON string. Again we will capture the error using catch block. Again same way we will return the stored value comma this method set value, and at the end we have to export it so that we can use in multiple components. So now we have to consume it first, like same way, constant storage value comma set storage value. You can give any name. Use, you can also give the same name that you have given here. Also I am giving the different so that you can easily identify. You can give these values, and this variable name here is here the state object, here is state object can be different or the same. Sorry, use local storage, and we have to pass the initial value. We have to pass first key, so I have passed name comma, here we will pass the first name, last. Using full local storage. Here the variable name is storage value. To retrieve it, storage value, right? So now just refresh the page, right? So here the use local storage custom. Now first time is all three are empty, so I am passing it again Tom. So you are seeing that the first two are updating, but use local storage full name is not updating, right? In the for the last name also. So because we have not updated the state of this variable storage value, that's why it is not displaying the updated value. So whenever we will enter the first name or last name, we have to update this value using this method. So it will fire these method. We have to call this again. Copy it and use set storage. Now we will verify, refresh it, all are blank. Nico Tom, you will see that the all three are updating. Use local storage also updating. Now I will explain you. So here also I have created one custom mode that is starting with the use keyword. That is first important thing. Here I am passing the input parameter that will be a key in which we want to store or get the data from there, and I am passing the initial value, whatever we want to store the or get the initial value. So after that I have created one state object, so setting or getting the value. So here at the initial value setting, I am checking the if the particular local storage get item is available on particular key, then I am storing it to item. I am checking if the particular item is available, so I am convert it into the JSON object. Because at the time of setting we are storing it in the JSON string format. So to display it, to storing it, we have to convert back into the original JavaScript object format, right? So we have to use the json.parse method. Here I am passing the JSON string that is stored in the item. It will convert JSON string into a JavaScript object. If that particular item is not available, then it will simply return this initial value variable. If any error occurred, we will console it and we will return the initial value. Okay, and so here we are calling the storage value. So it is calling storage value. It is associated with this stored value. It is reference with. So it will call it and it will return this value from the local storage to convert back into the, after converting it back into the JavaScript object, right? And whenever we are typing, want to update it, so on changing of first name and last name, we are calling the update first name and last name. In every method we are calling the set storage value. So whatever we are entering, it is concatenating with the space and the last name and first name respectively and updating it. So you have seen it is updating. So that is the custom hook. So hope you learn understand the custom hook also. If you have any question, you can ping me, you you can comment me. I will update you. I will give you the answer of your question. I will try to do that. If you have any suggestion, please comment out. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. So we will meet in the next video. So Jai Hind, Vande Mataram. Bye bye.